we have almost too many choices of new Alice content to look at. Having choices is a great thing.
Bog Panda.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Bog Panda. I am Dr. Mike at Official Pagan on everything. And of course, joining me as always.
Hi, everybody. This is Kelly at KELLYTHUL on Twitter and Instagram. And if you get a chance, we'd certainly appreciate it if you kind of cruise through some of our videos. If you like any of them, give them a like, comment. We greatly appreciate it. If you like several of them, you might want to consider subscribing and continuing to be notified when we put out new content. Always helps the channel when we get those likes and subscribes, so please consider doing that. And if not, if anything else, maybe take a peek at our merch store. You can get to it through our website. Links are in the video description. And take a look at some of the fine t-shirts that are available to you.
That was excellent, sir.
Thank you.
So there's a whole bunch, as we alluded to, a whole bunch of Alice Cooper stuff that's going on right now. I guess we should start with the big one, which is the announcement of a Alice Cooper group live album.
Yes, the original Alice Cooper group. Well, most of the original Alice Cooper group.
Yeah.
Those who were available, with Ryan Roxy filling in for Glenn Buxton, and 2015, which, if I understand it right, originally it was a book signing for Dennis Dunaway that blew up into a full-bore Alice Cooper reunion.
Yes. Yeah. So the book signing, so people had no idea that this was going to happen. I believe this is the same show. There was like a very limited 7-inch that they released with maybe 2 tracks. And I believe it was from this show. So now they're finally releasing the full show. And it's going to be available in multiple formats, as well as a DVD and Blu-ray. You're going to get vinyl and CD, of course. There are multiple options for the vinyl, which I think is cool. As a vinyl collector, I like having the different packaging options, different colors of the vinyl and all that good stuff. What did you think looking at it? Is this a purchase for you?
It is. I think I got to work through a little bit more on the pre-order and see, because multiple vinyl choices. So there's a gold vinyl, a glow-in-the-dark vinyl, and kind of a aqua bluish kind of vinyl. But they were aligned on the website to kind of say glow-in-the-dark version is the German version, the gold version's the American version, and the blue version's the European version. And then there were a couple others options as well. I hope I can get the glow-in-the-dark version in my current country of residence, because that would be my preferred vinyl. But yeah, I'll be, because even if I'm limited to the gold version, I'll be getting the vinyl version as well. It's not a massive, it's about 9 tracks around there, I think.
I think it's 10. Yeah, 9 or 10.
And it's that many tracks.
And we knew we were testing you.
Yeah, that's right. But it's the original group, and with Ryan Roxy joining him as well. And so it's good to hear them together. They have done, over the last several years, there have been to differing degrees, starting with Welcome to My Nightmare and beyond, or maybe even before that. Certainly in Paranormal, there was some activity with the full group.
Yeah.
It was all kind of good to see, as well as in Detroit Stories. They were back again together, with Neil Smith singing like Fozzie the Bear, in my personal opinion. It's kind of cool to see them back together, and doing some stuff. Michael Bruce, still can play. He's good. Dennis Dunaway has kind of stayed rock solid all the way through. Neil Smith also, seems to have held up really quite well, and of course certainly Alice has. So it's kind of cool to have something from the original group.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. The track listing looks great. I mean, I feel like with that sort of catalog, they could really pull anything and it would work no matter what the track listing was. Like you said, not a particularly long, but again, this was a small sort of intimate surprise show. So it makes sense that this wasn't like 2 hours or anything like that. So but I kind of like that. I think it's going to be a fun listen. My only complaint, I guess, and we had kind of talked about this off mic a little bit. From what I'm seeing, it looks like the vinyl editions come with the DVD of the concert, whereas the CD comes with the Blu-ray. And that's the only kind of annoying thing for me because I want the vinyl and the Blu-ray.
Yeah. Sounds like you're buying two packages.
Yeah, that would be the downside of that.
Two different vinyls and then all the other different media. Yeah. Yeah, that was a little unfortunate. And of course, the big disappointment, no Generation Landslide.
No.
It's like, how could this not be on there? But
he should have brought out his solo band just to do Generation Landslide at the end as an encore.
There you go. So they talk about the Mandela effect all the time, where it's like people are absolutely convinced. The Mandela effect for Mike and I is that we think that every live Alice Cooper album that's ever been made includes Generation Landslide. And while it does show up, and it actually shows up on Special Forces as well, while it does show up more often than any other song in his catalog, it's not quite to the frequency that Mike and I remember it.
That we think it is.
Yeah. Somebody in our comments was nice enough to point out, because both of us, I think, were absolutely 100% convinced that the Alice Cooper Show, the live album he did after his first three solo albums, Generation Landslide was on it. Absolutely, 110%. We might have even in the track by track review talked about
still said the Generation Landslide.
I think it was that hard. We would have to go back. Actually, I don't think we did the live show was a little different when we reviewed that. We have gone track by track, but I think we did attribute it to there. So no Generation Landslide, but that's fine. Caught in a Dream, your favorite Alice album. That's one
of my favorite songs too.
Good song. It's a really, really good song. And then Desperado is done as an instrumental bonus track, which I'm intrigued by. So I'm looking forward to checking that out.
Yeah, I think it all looks really interesting. I'm just excited for, even though it's not a recent show, more Alice Cooper group content. Whatever we can get from Alice, I think is great. I think what's great about being an Alice fan right now is that there does seem to be just kind of an endless supply of stuff that's been coming out. Steady stream of music. Like you said, steady reunions from the original group, doing occasional songs here and there. Now a live album from them. So I'm really excited. I really, really hope we get an Alice Cooper group studio record.
Yeah, well, that would be cool, but we might not, because another thing that's working out pretty good for Alice is working with his existing touring band. Thanks to Mike and I, Alice heard us, and he has gone into the studio working directly with his existing touring band, doing the writing with them and the performing, obviously, as well. And the output of that is going to be 2 albums that I'm starting to get a sense are both going to be released this year. I don't know, but at least we're going to get one. But 30 new songs, 2 albums, being described as definitely hard rock. The distinction that I've seen so far in interviews is, well, one album's, they're all Alice Cooper. They're very pure Alice Cooper kind of sound. One's a hard rock album, and the other is a hard rock album that's twisted. So that intrigued me. Thought that would be interesting. But yeah, so in terms of Mike talking about the steady stream of stuff that's coming out, we got 2 albums in the pipeline, and a little unclear on kind of how they'll drop out. But I think we're going to get one this year for sure, and we may get super lucky and get 2.
Yeah, that would be great to see both of them. Again, Kelly and I made this happen. So you're welcome, Alice Cooper fans and Alice's live band.
Yep, we're there for you.
Yeah.
7x24. So super good stuff. And so really looking forward to that, because Detroit Stories, Paranormal, some of the stuff that's coming out recently from Alice has been some pretty strong stuff. Some really, really good stuff. So can assume that trend's going to continue, particularly when you're bringing to bear the talent of Chuck Garrick, Ryan Roxy, Tommy Hendrickson, Anita Strauss. So it's going to be good stuff.
Now, mentioning Chuck Garrick first, does this mean your feud with him is coming to an end?
Yes, it is. The fake feud that you created between Chuck Garrick and I is coming to an end. And fingers crossed, I'll be hitting another Bisto Blanco show here in July.
Nice, very nice. So this means if we were to make a sequel to your game, you'd have to be slapping someone else or punching someone else, rather.
Yeah, and to keep, if you wanted to stay consistent, you could have me punch. I don't know, for instance. You could have me do that, and it would be just as truthful. just So because I've punched no one. I have plans to punch no one. Everybody knows that punching distance is a unit of measures. It was used by the pharaohs, who was cubits and punches. These were the major measurements. Just read your Bible, Mike. You'll learn these things.
Sorry.
So, but yes, you'll have to work on a sequel. Either me punching somebody else. Maybe it's not a good idea to threaten the Supreme Court justice. So
probably not. I'm sure we could come up with somebody. Wink.
Yeah. Well, I will just distort that maybe out or something.
And there's more Alice stuff, though, even beyond all that. So we're just going to keep dumping stuff on you guys. So fresh off of the Amber Heard trial, we're getting a Hollywood Vampires little mini tour.
Yes. Another one I'm going to try and make. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but would like to. But yeah, that
we have to get around to doing the Hollywood Vampires albums as well.
Yes, we absolutely do. We got to do the Beasto ones, and we got to do Vampires. So those are some more contents we need. Our apologies to the listening crowd for us not getting on that, but we'll get that in the rotation and get those done. But yeah, it would definitely be fun to see the Vampires, because it just should be a good show. And kind of tied to that, Justin Hawkins, I believe that's the gentleman's name.
Yes.
Did a YouTube video, which you shared with me, and I was a little scared because has he still got it was the title of the YouTube video by Justin, and apparently he's done several of these on Alice's 74, which is not young, and there are a number of rock and roll performers in his age group that have chosen to carry on that don't do it nearly as well as Alice does. I mean, Alice is rock solid. Some of the folks,
I would say ones who were younger than Alice not doing it nearly as well as he does.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. But so Mike had shared that video. So this will be linked in the we're trying to link to all the stuff we're talking about. So to be a big video description of all the stuff that's out there. But he apparently, his band was supporting Hollywood Vampires. So when they were on tour, he had done something with Alice was doing the Bare Bones tour, and then he did it with the Hollywood Vampires and just had nothing but nice things to say about them in the video as well. So apparently they're pleasant enough folks on the road as well. And fortunately, he was actually very complimentary of Alice, and he kind of, because I was hoping, Mike and I are huge fans, you guys all know that. And I was hoping I wasn't looking through rose-colored glasses at the performances I was seeing, but I was just having a really hard time saying, I don't think I could make this appear as good as it is if it wasn't really this good, and it's just a really solid show. It always is from there. And there's nothing about him missing a beat at all. And he pretty much kind of echoed that through the process. And he's certainly,
and it was interesting. His stuff has been popping up more. I don't really watch his show, and I don't really listen to his band. Nothing against them. They're just never really been on my radar of stuff that I was really into. He's the singer of the band The Darkness, if anybody isn't familiar. They had a really big hit a while back. I believe In a Thing Called Love was the name of the song. He's known for singing in a very high falsetto voice. But he's been doing a lot of videos. His podcast is popular. He's been doing a lot of these videos on YouTube, mostly criticizing other singers and kind of ripping apart their videos. And there's plenty of that to go around. I mean, you don't have to look far to see videos of Motley Crue and Bon Jovi and, not delivering what fans are expecting at their shows. And I'm not criticizing them. I'm not those bands. They're much older. They've been doing this for a long time. I would even argue in their favor that I think their fans know what to expect coming to see them. They're coming to see them, much like when people go and see the Rolling Stones. the Rolling Stones are two very old guys and a backing band of people who are half their age standing behind them in the background. So actually playing all those songs because they can't. You're paying to see the name, the Rolling Stones, and to see those guys who were in the original Rolling Stones stand in front of the people actually playing the songs. So, and that's fine. I'm not knocking that if that's what you're into. But I would argue, and it sounds like I'm coming down on these bands, but I'm not. Like, I feel like you know what you're getting into when you go to see certain things, like particularly with Motley Crue. I'm not trying to pick on them. I know it sounds like I am, but there's so many people posting all these videos about how they sound and their obvious heavy reliance on backing tracks and things like that. I saw Motley Crue in the 90s, and that's exactly what they sounded like back then. So people are fooling themselves, acting like this is what Motley Crue sounds like now. They sounded like that decades ago. So, and again, I'm not taking, I like some of their music, so I'm not taking shots at them. It's just, you need to separate nostalgia from what's really happening. And like Kelly said, he was worried that maybe we're seeing it through rose colored glasses because we're Alice fans. We have that nostalgia of growing up with his music and things like that. So are we the Motley Crue fans who are suddenly shocked seeing it, you know, because they've been away for a while and come back like, oh, they sound terrible now. No, they sound like they did in the 90s. So no, Alice sounds great.
Yep. And sometimes he sounds better than he did kind of in the heyday because you know he's not hammered every night, and so that can make a difference as well. So it's a good show. You should have to see it. So yeah, so that's good. I enjoyed his presentation. You know, I'm good mostly because he landed on the right side for me. Alice has still got it, so that's a good video.
Great, this man's a genius. I'm gonna go listen to The Darkness.
He's super smart. He agrees with me. So, but it was super cool. So covered that. We covered the new albums, vampires. I'm sure there's
Alice
more.
has he's on No Cover, the show.
No Cover, yep, that's still rolling along. So that's cooking there, and his radio show's still going. You can check that out as well. So not doing too bad. Excellent. So I'm sure he's going to keep busy. So we'll be back with more Alice Cooper news.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a future show.
We'll be reviewing the album soon, and then the new studio records, and eventually we're going to get to Hollywood Vampires and Vista Blanco. We promise.
Yeah. Excellent. Anything else for this one?
No, I think that's it, sir.
Cool. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.